All right, and welcome to the Underdog's Edge, episode number 5. And this is season number 2. And I'm so thrilled that you're joining me here on this podcast. My name is Blake, and I am the host of the Underdog's Edge. And I'm excited to have you tuning in. It's an honor to have you on board for today. And if this is your first time tuning into this podcast is for movers and shakers, leaders, community activists, business owners, entrepreneurs, salespeople, marketers. This is the podcast for people that are out there in the world making things happen and moving things and getting things done. This is the podcast of action, and I'm excited to have you tuned in today. And episode number 5, and today's podcast is titled "What is Success?" And obviously, success is different for so many people, but I'm going to go over what my version and my definition of success is, and what it actually looks like in a real life, in a real world example, not just in theory. So guys, if you're tuning in for the first time, this podcast, this is not a theoretical, philosophical podcast. I want to go over things that you can actually take action on, things that are relevant, that are practical, that are tangible, things that you can actually implement in your day-to-day world today, immediately. So let's get right into this podcast, episode number 5, what is success? The first thing I like to do for a lot of these episodes is I like to get and identify the definitions of words. So I'm going to go ahead and read the definition of success from the dictionary. And it is defined as the accomplishment of an aim or a purpose. Success, the accomplishment of an aim or a purpose. So according to the dictionary, you are only having success once you accomplish something of an aim or a purpose. So for example, if your sales quota is $20,000 a month and you hit 12,000, according to the definition, you are not successful. Okay. You're only successful if you hit that $20,000 mark. So according to the definition of success to the dictionary, success is defined as the accomplishment of an aim or a purpose. Okay. Now, I disagree with that definition of success. I do not believe that is what success actually is. So for me, my definition of success, and I'm just going to kind of give you the concept of it. I don't have an actual definition, but success to me is progress. Success to me is growth. Success to me is forward movement. Success to me is maturity. That is success. Now, the beautiful thing about success is it's not just money or monetary value or business. Success is in relationships. Success is in your spirituality. Success is in your fitness. Success is in your family dynamics, in your family relationships. Success is in your education. Success is in your personal development. Success is in developing skills and attributes. Okay. And it obviously goes in line with financial gain and business and all of that. Success to me is progress. It's growth. It's maturity. It's forward movement. That is what success is. If you base your definition of success according to what the dictionary has, and you're basing it as of, I have to accomplish this feat, this goal, this target for me to be successful, you're always going to fail. Matter of fact, you're never going to be successful, because you're always going to be at this place of, I didn't actually hit my mark. So if your mark is $20,000 a month and you hit 18, even though you had a great month, in your mind, you're not going to be successful. So I think we have to reframe what success actually is. And you can do this for yourself. You don't have to take my definition of success, but I do feel like adopting the definition of success as of a place of progress, growth, forward movement, and maturity, that is a healthy definition of success, because that allows us to always be in this place of, yes, we're moving forward. Yes, we're taking action. Yes, there's things that we have to correct, errors that we have to correct. But at the same time, I'm getting that personal fulfillment of being successful. I am successful in the current moment because I am making strides to my goals, not waiting for the goal to happen for me to be successful. To me, that's backwards thinking. To me, you have to be successful to continue to have success. not wait for something to happen, then you're successful. So that's my definition of success: progress, growth, forward movement, and maturity. So now that we have identified that, let's kind of talk about what success actually looks like in a real world, day-to-day level. So oftentimes when we think of success from the mental paradigm that we have, it seems like success is a linear process. And what does a linear process mean? Linear process means it's very orderly. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, I'm gonna grow my business by one client every single month. That's a linear growth. I'm going to lose 1.5 pounds every single week. That's linear progress. Linear progress it's not real. It doesn't exist. It exists in theory, but it doesn't exist in the real world. In the real world, there's exponential progress, exponential growth. Unless you're dealing with computers and technology and systems and data, in the real world, if there's people involved and there's teamwork and you're actually doing something that involves people and things that involve so many different factors that you can't identify every variable, there is no such thing as just linear progress or linear growth. There's only exponential. Now you can exponentially fail as well, but really there's only exponential growth. So what does exponential growth actually look like? This is what success actually looks like. For example, if your goal is to lose 20 pounds by the next 60 days, what may happen is you may lose 6 pounds the first week. You may lose 1 pound the next 3 weeks. And then after that, you may go 2 weeks or 1 week with losing no weight. Matter of fact, you might gain 1.5 pounds 1 week. Now, if you look at it from a linear standpoint, that week that you gain 1.5 pounds, you might be flipping out. I'm not successful in this endeavor. I'm not making progress. I'm not making it happen. But that's not what success is. Success is exponential. So what does that mean? Is that first week you lost 6 pounds. The second week, you only lost 1. The third week, you gained 2 pounds. But by your 60-day goal, you lost 24 pounds. That's successful. But in the process, because success is not linear, it can trick you to think that you're not successful if you only track your progress and success from a linear standpoint. You have to track it from a holistic viewpoint. You have to track it from a big picture viewpoint. Now, if your goal is to lose 20 pounds in 60 days, and you're gaining 2 pounds a week, then that's obvious that you're not going in the right direction. So that's not what I'm referring to. But what I'm referring to is it's not going to be a super clean 1.5 pounds every single week. That's not the way it works. It's not the way it works. Your body is adjusting. Your body changes to the caloric intake. Sometimes you need to drop your calories. Sometimes you might need to add carbs. There's different variables. And it's the same thing in business. In business, we expect linear results, especially in sales. Like, if a salesperson says, I want to generate $20,000 this month in new revenue, and I'm going to do, X amount per week, and it's going to be a clean, certain amount every single week, it's probably not going to end up being that way. The first week, you're going to, you might not do any new business. The second week, you might bring in $6,000 in new business. The third week, you might bring in $2,000. And then the fourth week, you bring in the rest. You bring in, $13,000 of revenue. Next thing you know, you hit your $20,000 mark. That is what I'm referring to as success is cyclical. It's exponential. It's cyclical, like a circle. Like if you're watching the YouTube here or the video, it's like this. It's a cyclical process. Success is a circle. It's not a straight line. It's not a line. It doesn't go up like that. So success is exponential and it's cyclical. If we understand that, then it's going to allow us to not get so down on ourselves when we have a week that's not, a week that we're not getting all the results in the world. If we look at the big picture at all times, then it keeps us on track. We should always measure our success and our progress from the big picture, the holistic viewpoint, not from just a very small compartmentalized linear framework. Because if you do that, number one, you might overshoot your success. You might have 1 week where you've done $24,000 in new business, but then the next 8 weeks you don't do anything. And if you look at just that 1 week, that's not going to give you an accurate viewpoint of what success is. So for measuring success is cyclical, not linear. So let's recap. The definition of success is progress, growth, maturity, and forward movement. Okay. And what success actually looks like in real life, it's cyclical, it's exponential, it's not linear, it's not a straight line. So now that we've identified what success actually is and how it looks like in the real world, now we can kind of develop some action steps. But I think the biggest issue with success is we have many. First off, every individual has their own idea of what success is, and success can be, in many different industries and many different areas of life. But I do believe that having the right framework of what success is allows you to have that fulfillment and that joy whenever you're actually making strides and you're achieving something. And to me, everyone can adapt the definition of success as progress, growth, forward movement, and maturity. And everyone can understand that success is not a straight line. It's not linear. That is cyclical and it's exponential. If you can take those two concepts, then you're always going to keep your mental framework in a very stable and healthy place, because you're not going to get super, super low or super, super high. You're going to stay even keel. You're going to stay in a harmonious state of mind, because success it's something over the long term. It's not a 1 day thing. It's not a 1 week thing. It's not a 1 month thing. Success is actually something that you are. It's who you become. And as you become that every single day, and you're making progress and you're maturing and you're growing and you're moving forward, then your life starts to bear more fruit. Your life starts to bear more what we call evidence and results of success. So the fruits come from the roots, right? And the roots are you. It's what's inside of you. It's not just what's inside of you. It's your daily habits. It's your daily routine. Having successful mindset, having a successful routine, having successful habits. Just being the person, just being a successful person will bear successful fruit. Most people try to go after it backwards. They try to go get the fruit without having the roots. And if you do that, there may be times where you're able to grab some fruit. There may be some times where you might get that one deal where you might, lose that 10 pounds, but you're not able to sustain it for the long haul because you don't have the roots in place. You don't have the foundation. So it's kind of this really weird thing. And I know oftentimes in the world, we like to think of success as like, all I got to do is go out there and just get it. Well, you do have to take action. You do have to go get things. But really, if you just become a successful person, then the getting is just a byproduct. It's a natural thing that you do. But you have to have the habits and the foundations and the mental framework to be successful. Someone the other day was telling me, Blake, how many calories do you eat in a day? I have no idea. I have no clue. I've never counted calories. All I know is I do my best to eat 5 to 6 times a day, small meals, and I do that consistently. I don't know. I don't count calories. I eat healthy, I eat clean, and I do it consistently. And that produces a general healthy well-being. It produces a general well-being of fitness. Now, most people, they want to lose weight or they want to gain muscle, but they're going from 0 to 100. They don't have any foundations in place. They don't have any habits in place. And so it's actually quicker to get those results if you just start implementing some simple things and just being the person, being successful. So remember, successful is cyclical, it's exponential. It happens when things start compounding on itself. It's not a linear thing. There's that saying, there's that thought that when someone wins the lottery, and I think there's a statistic out there, I don't know the statistic, but oftentimes a lot of lottery winners that win the lottery, they actually go broke in 2 to 3 years after they win the lottery. And these are people that have won 15, 20, $30 million, right? How could you go broke after you win $30 million? That's a lot of money. I mean, that should support 2 or 3 generations just by itself. But the point is they weren't a $30 million person. Now, it doesn't mean that they don't have value as people, but from a financial standpoint, they weren't financially, mentally, habitually $30 million people. And so when they got that influx of $30 million, they end up going broke in the next 2 to 3 years because their roots are based on another number. It could, it could be poverty. It doesn't matter what it is. Maybe they went back to going back to their job and they're making 50 grand a year. It doesn't matter. But their roots did not support a $30 million lifestyle because they weren't a $30 million person. And so I feel like that's really what success is. It's just becoming the person that that you see as far as your outcome. So if you want to make $5 million a year, then obviously, yeah, you need to have some practical things. You need to have probably a business and revenue streams and income streams and all that. But to start working your way up to that level, you have to financially start taking care of the basics. Looking at your accounts every single day, trying to budget, to the best of your ability, doing your best to, pay yourself first and save a little bit of money every single month. Just doing some basic things to kind of build a framework and build a foundation. And then as you start growing and growing and growing, and you have an influx of cash flow and revenue, you're able to actually utilize that and maximize it to a higher level. And because the roots create the fruits, and the fruits are supported by the roots, you have the foundation to support that. So being successful is, we understand that it's progress, growth, and maturity. We understand that it's not linear, that it's exponential and cyclical, but we also understand that being successful is just being that person. It's who you are. It's not something you go get. You don't get success. You are success. And that creates a successful life. It doesn't mean there won't be challenges and problems, because there will be. Oftentimes, as you become more successful, you have more challenges, you have more problems that allows you to grow even more. It's a crazy, crazy thing, but it's a cyclical process. It's not linear. So I think now let's get into some action steps here. The first step to create success in your life is create a clear outcome of who you want to be. Create a clear outcome of who you want to be. Crystal clear. Who is that person? What does that person do? That future version of myself who is more successful than I am right now, what does that person do? What habits do they have? What kind of actions do they take? What mentality do they have? What are they watching? What are they reading? Who are they associating with? Crystal clear outcome of who you want to become. The second thing is, let's just focus on the next 100 days. Identify one goal that you want to achieve in the next 100 days. So now that you have a crystal clear version of who you ultimately want to become, what can you do in the next 100 days to start manifesting that person? Do you want to save $5,000 in the next 100 days? Do you want to create $500,000 of revenue for your company? Do you want to create a company in the next 100 days? Do you want to add 15 new clients in the next 100 days? Do you want to lose 45 pounds in the next 100 days? Do you want to gain 15 pounds of muscle in the next 100 days? Do you want to make straight A's for this next semester in the next 100 days? Do you want to learn a new skill in the next 100 days? What can you do in the next 100 days that's going to make you more of that person that you want to become? That's going to add to that person. You're sculpting the person. You're sculpting your destiny. You're sculpting who you are becoming. What can you do in the next 100 days that's going to make you that outcome, that higher version of yourself? And pick just one thing and just go all in on it. The third thing you can start doing is, what are your next 2 or 3 steps for the next 100 days? What can you do now that you know who you want to become? It's crystal clear. You know what's the one thing you're going to focus on the next 100 days. What can you do today to initiate the next 100 days? What step can you take today? And then start taking action. Start taking action every single day. Do something that's going to move you forward. And my friends, that is what success is. Forward movement, forward progress, maturity, evolution, growth. That is what success actually is. That is what success is. It is nothing else but that. It is growth. maturity, evolution, and forward movement. And guys, I hope you got value from this quick podcast. I hope that this helped to reframe what you think success is and what it's not. I hope you were able to come to your own conclusions off of this episode. I hope this sparks some new ideas, some new connections in your brain to help you along your success journey. Because at the end of the day, you have to be the person to find what success is for you. You have to be the person to take those action steps. You have to be the person to decide who you're going to ultimately become when it's all said and done. In the next year, the next 3 years, the next 5 years, who are you? Who are you going to become? Because you're not going to be the same person. So you might as well get crystal clear on who that person is going to be. It can accidentally happen, or you can do it on purpose. I say go do it on purpose. Do it with intention. Do it with a sense of inspiration and joy. All right, guys. Until next time, go out there, have a phenomenal week, a phenomenal day. Crush your goal. Goal, not goals. Just focus on one thing. Go out there and make it happen. Take the action steps. Get crystal clear on who you are and who you are becoming. And guys, go out there and make it happen, because God is supporting your journey. He is supporting your mission. He created you divinely to be a certain person that you were created to be. Only you can be that person. No one else can be it. So I am asking you to get in touch with that person who God made you to be, and go out there and start taking steps. Doesn't matter how big or small. It could be a baby step, but that's better than no step. And go out there and start making it happen. Until next time, guys, have a phenomenal week, and adios.